Hi yogis, and welcome to this yoga flow for back pain relief. This is a really gentle and easy paced yoga flow that is really great to do if you're experiencing any pain in your lower, mid, or upper back, as it'll really be working on stretching out those areas, waking up the spine a little bit, but in a really gentle and easeful way. Let me just say that if you are experiencing pain in those areas and you're feeling that any of these postures are a bit too much today, please don't carry on doing them. Rather come into a child's pose or find a posture that makes you feel comfortable rather than trying to get into a posture that is causing you more pain. So today, to get started, we're going to come onto our backs, lying on the mat. If you have a blanket or a towel handy, I've got a rolled up towel over here, then throw me on pause quick and grab one of those. I like to just fold my towel in half and roll it up. And we're just going to be bringing that underneath the knees. Just creates a little bit more support and helps keep the spine nice and neutral along the ground. So coming down onto the ground, resting that towel underneath the knees. We're going to close down the eyes, bringing the hands to the belly, maybe to the chest or to the sides, wherever feels comfortable for you. Finding a comfortable position for the next few moments. And we're going to be focusing in on the breath here. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And again in and out. One more time in and out. Continuing those breaths in your own time and allowing the body to soften here. Letting go of any stress that you may have felt throughout the day. Maybe it's the start of the day for you. Just allowing your body to have that feeling of melting into the mat. Shifting the focus away from the pain that you might be experiencing onto the points that are connected to the earth. How do those parts feel right now? Do they feel grounded? Do they feel strong? Do they feel like they're supporting you? Taking one more breath here. In and out. Slowly opening up the eyes. Just going to sit up and remove that towel quickly. Before lying back down to the mat, bringing the feet so they're resting on the mat with the knees pointing towards the ceiling. We're going to bring both knees into the chest, giving ourselves a little bit of a hug and just rocking here from side to side. Keeping your head on the mat. Giving the spine a little bit of a massage. On your next breath in, we're going to extend the left leg out long, keeping the right knee into the chest, holding on to that right knee just loosely, not pulling it too tight. And on your next breath in, we're going to start slowly bringing that right knee towards our chest or towards the side of the rib cage, kind of like we're trying to pull it into our armpit. And and releasing, keeping a nice loose hold of it again. And again, bringing that knee towards our chest and releasing. And one more time, bringing that knee towards the chest and releasing, bringing both knees back towards us. So when we're experiencing some of our back pain, it can often be caused from other areas of the body. Could be from tight hips or tight hamstrings. And so as well as stretching out the back, we will also be stretching out a few of those areas. And this is just giving us hips a little bit of a stretch. And so extending the right leg out in front of us, holding onto the left knee loosely. And on the next breath in, bringing that knee towards our chest or towards the side of our ribcage. And breath out, releasing. Again, breath in, pulling that knee tight. And releasing. And one last time, bringing that knee towards our chest. And releasing, bringing those knees together one more time, giving ourselves a nice hug. And releasing the feet to the floor again. Coming into constructive rest with our knees pointing to the ceiling. So next we're going to be following our breath, just rocking the knees from side to side, not bringing the knees to the floor, trying not to move the upper body too much, just swaying, following the movement of your own breath. Breathing out, lowering down, in, coming through center, and out, back down, in through the middle, and out. Continuing to rock here for 2 more breaths. And on your next breath in, coming back through center. Breathing out, we're going to bring the knees to the left-hand side, all the way down to the ground. It feels nice to extend the arms out long beside us. Feel free to do that. We're going to aim to get our knees kind of at a 90-degree angle with the tops of the legs and the shins out next to us, kind of like we're sitting sideways on a little chair. Keeping the head up towards the ceiling if that feels nice. Or if we're wanting a little bit more of a spinal twist, looking over to the right-hand side. And breathing into this posture for a couple of breaths. When you're ready, bringing the knees back to center. And on your next breath out, bringing them over to the right-hand side. Keeping your head up or looking over to the left if that feels nice. Holding here for a few moments. And when you're ready, coming back to center. Next, we're going to be just rolling over to our left-hand side, using the strength of our right hand to lift us up. We're going to be coming to a tabletop. So bringing the hands below the shoulders and the knees below the hips. If you find that this is too strong for the wrists, just bring the hands forward a little bit, kind of one palm in front, and this should alleviate any tension that you might be feeling in your wrists. And on the next breath in, we're going to come to a few slow cat-cows. We're going to start lifting the tailbone towards the sky, dropping the belly towards the earth, dropping the chest, and lifting the head towards the sky. On your next breath out, tucking the chin, lifting the shoulders and the back towards the sky and tucking the tailbone. And again, breath in, tucking the tailbone, feeling each vertebra as it drops towards the earth with your head coming very last. And breath out, tucking the chin, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone. Doing this a few more times following your own breath, but really trying to focus in on moving each little vertebra as you go. If it takes more than a single breath to get to each point, that is all right too. This is your practice. You need to follow what your body is telling you today. And one more time. And breathing out. Coming back to a tabletop. On our next breath in, we're going to try and make a C shape with the side of our body. So bending the right hip and trying to look towards that right hip. So curling in with the right body, feeling a nice stretch in the left-hand side. So as if your spine is making the letter C. And on your next breath, switching over to the other side, feeling the stretch in your right body. And again, switching sides. And switching sides. Doing this a couple more times in your own breath. One more time each side. And coming to tabletop when you are ready. Next, we're going to be shifting the hands in front of us, edging them forward as we start lowering our chest to the mat, keeping the hips stacked above the knees. We're going to be settling slowly into puppy dog pose, bringing the chest towards the mat, keeping the head up, or if it feels comfortable, lowering the forehead down to the ground. And resting here for a few breaths, feeling that nice opening in your shoulders. On your next breath in, slowly starting to come up, we're going to start shifting the hips towards the ground, keeping the hands where they are, and extending the legs out long, coming onto forearms, settling down into Sphinx. So when we're in Sphinx, we want to keep those legs nice and strong behind us, keeping the glutes nice and tight, feeling that little back bend in your lower back. If we didn't tighten the glutes, we would be hyperextending the lower back a bit too much, and that would start to cause more pain. So by keeping those glutes nice and tight, we're just protecting that lower back. Looking just ahead of us or slightly up if that feels nice. If you're wanting a little bit more of a deeper back bend, coming up onto your hands, so extending the arms out and coming into cobra. Again, remembering to keep those glutes nice and tight. Coming back down to forearms, we're going to tuck the toes and shift the knees in, coming back to a tabletop. And keeping the toes tucked, we're going to start lifting the knees, coming into a downward facing dog, bringing the hips up towards the sky. You're going to walk your dog out here, stretching out those hamstrings. They might be quite tight as this is our first downward dog of the day. And slowing down that movement, we're going to bend the legs and start walking the feet up towards the hands. Keeping a bend in those legs, we're going to aim to keep the belly onto the tops of the thighs, coming into ragdoll. If it feels nice to dip the head, maybe grip onto the elbows, swaying from side to side. Just feeling that pull of gravity on your spine. I always find that this feels really nice, having that pull on my lower back. Slowing down that movement, bringing the hands back to the ground. We're slowly going to start rolling up the spine from the hips. Again, vertebra by vertebra, with the head coming very last, coming into standing. I'm going to face the front so that you can see me. On the next breath in, breathing the arms up towards the sky, clasping the hands, keeping the pointer fingers up. And on the next breath out, leaning over to the left-hand side, feeling a nice stretch in the right body. On your breath in, coming through center, and breath out over to the right-hand side, feeling a stretch in the left body. And breath in, coming through center. One more time, leaning over to the left-hand side. Breathing through center again, and last time over to the right hand side, feeling the stretch in the left body. Coming back through center and releasing the arms, giving the body a nice little shake. We're going to bring our feet a bit wider than hip distance apart, quite a bit wider. And hinging from our hips, we're going to start coming into a wide-legged forward fold, but we want to be keeping the integrity of our spine, keeping it nice and neutral. So a way that I like to do that is by keeping one hand on my belly and one hand on my chest, keeping those there as I start leaning forward, because that way I know that if my hands start coming together, if they start going further apart, my spine's doing something that I don't want it to do. So keeping those hands on the belly and on the chest. I'm going to start hinging at the hips, having a slight bend in the knees if that feels nice. And once you reach horizontal, you can drop the hands down to the ground, maybe drop the head, gripping onto the elbows if that feels nice again, swaying from side to side, playing with the bend and stretch of those legs. Allowing your body to feel quite fluid here, if that's what feels nice today. slowing down that movement. I'm going to try and straighten the legs as much as possible, as much as feels comfortable. And we're just going to breathe over to the left-hand side, holding on to the calf or maybe the ankle, trying to keep that straight spine again. The aim is to imagine that you're bringing your chest towards your knee, but just until you can feel that slight little pull in your hamstring. Not too much, but just coming into a nice hamstring stretch on the left-hand side. And holding here for a few moments. If it feels nice to dip the head again, please feel free to do that. And releasing to center and breathing over to the right-hand side. Again, holding onto the calf, maybe the ankle, wherever feels comfortable for you. Feeling the stretch in the right hamstring. Dipping the head if that feels good. And releasing here one more time, bringing the hands to the mat. From here, we're going to start heel toeing the feet back together, coming back to that ragdoll, so keeping a bend in the legs if that feels nice. Stretching out the legs if that feels comfortable today. Breathing in, straightening out the spine, coming to a halfway lift. And breathing out, coming back to ragdoll and rolling all the way down to the ground, coming to sitting and rolling down onto our backs again. Coming into constructive rest with the feet on the ground and the knees pointing towards the ceiling. From here, planting the hands down on the ground to give us some stability. I'm going to start lifting the hips towards the sky, coming into a bridge. So while we're here, we want to be keeping those glutes nice and strong again to be protecting our lower back. And holding here for a few breaths. If you're wanting a slight more of a back bend here, bringing the shoulder blades towards each other, so tucking the shoulders together, making a little fist underneath you. And that'll allow you to come to a bit more of a back bend. Keeping those glutes and thighs nice and strong. And releasing here, releasing those shoulder blades and lowering the hips back towards the ground. Again, we're going to be bringing the knees to give us a nice big hug. But while we're here, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, holding on to the outsides of the feet, coming into a reclined butterfly. Just holding here and allowing the knees to fall to the sides. Feeling a nice stretch in our groin. Keeping that spine nice and flat on the mat. We don't want any curves while we're here. And if it feels nice, let's bring those feet still together down to the mat and resting here in a reclined butterfly. Bringing the hands out to the side. And if that feels too much, just extending the legs out long in front of you again. Maybe you want to bring that towel from the beginning of the practice back underneath the knees. And resting here as we close down the eyes and come into a bit of a Shavasana. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and out. And in again. And out. Noticing any difference that your body might be feeling. Maybe it's tingling. Maybe it's got a bit warmer. Maybe you're feeling a little bit of relief. Focusing in on the parts of your body that feel good. Allowing that good to radiate through the rest of your body. As if it's spreading like sun rays. Tingling up through the rest. Taking one more breath here, in through the nose. And out. Rolling over to your side again if you are ready. If not, feel free to pause the video. And coming to an easy seat. Thank you so much for joining me on this practice today. If you did enjoy this practice, please don't forget to leave me a comment, like this video, and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you don't miss another video. And hopefully I'll see you again next time.